What's going on, everybody? How you doing? We're running late. Bring that down right there. Let's take this right in here. Oh, and I gotta have this open first. Hang on. Did that grab it? That grabbed it. All right. Ernie, what's happening? How you doing? Did I... Yep, okay, that's working. Oh, my goodness. Busy. So what is going on? 1.40 for Eurotruck dropped yesterday, I think. Late yesterday. I was looking for 1.40 for ATS, and I didn't find it, but I did find the thread for ETS. So what I did was I created a new profile. I very quickly leveled up. The only mods that we're running right now are skins. We've got skin for the truck, skin for the trailer. I bought the truck, I bought the trailer. I leveled up enough that we could drive something interesting. But we're not running any other mods right now. And the reason we're not is I took a look in the existing 1.39 profile that I had. And of course, there were some red dots. Now, some of those I know, like the, is it Alexi D? Oh, there is a 5500K headlight mod, right? Gives you the Xenon style headlights. And I believe that modder, they limit it. So you can set a mod up so it works for any patch, or you can set it up so that it only works for a specific patch. I feel like there's some modders that set their mods up so they deactivate, right? They break as soon as the patch updates, even if it's not something that's going to be a problem. And they do that so that nobody can ever say your mod broke my save game. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe they just do it to make sure everything stays current. Unknown. But at any rate, he does that. And there is also Obelinio, maybe? The Austrian emission stickers, right? It seems like a really small, kind of meaningless mod that would need to be updated for every patch, but they set it up that way. So maybe a half dozen of those or so. When I went in, it said those were broken, those were deactivated. So I fired up anyway. I turned those off. I deactivated the ones with the exclamation mark, and I fired up anyway, and the lighting was just absolutely wrecked. So I took a look, and what I saw was, so every patch, SCS says, this, if you have mods, it's going to impact this patch. And I feel like they have to say that, but for the most part, it doesn't, and we sort of fudge our way around it. But then I saw some people in the forum and in various threads saying, oh no, this one is completely different. If you have any mods running, anything that impacts lighting or rendering in any way, it will break the entire patch. So the lighting was completely wrecked when I tried it in my previous profile, and it seems a little bit better now. Now I have seen the patch has been out, it's beta, and it's been out for 24 hours. So let's keep our expectations in check. And I have seen some people saying that, yeah, it needs a little polishing, but it's a really big jump forward. So with all that said, let's hop in here and see what we've got going. I think they do. I mean, from one perspective, it just looks a little bit darker. And I also feel like the anti-aliasing, I don't know if you can see this, but I feel like you can really see it when we're inside. So you don't really think about it. But what we're looking at right now is, it's not a true 3D cabin. I don't think that Prism 3D can render that. So we get very limited side to side. Like this is all the side to side we get. Whereas in other sims, in something like X-Plane, I know I talk about X-Plane a lot, but in something like X-Plane, we can continue sliding all the way over, right? And we do have a full 3D dashboard, a full 3D cabin. Here we do not. I feel like we're looking at some planes here, and we're looking at the illusion of 3D. So what I'm noticing about some of the anti-aliasing in this new lighting system is you really do, the edges get a little bit bright, and so you really have a very clear picture of the fact that you're looking at a series of JPEGs. I guess they'd be PNGs because they're transparent. You're looking at a series of PNGs that are layered one on top of another, or you're looking at a set of DDS that are layered on top of one another. So some of the edges look a little bit, I don't know, not great. But like I said, this has been out for less than 24 hours. And props to SCS, as always, for continue to try to keep this now 9-year-old game as current as possible. We'll talk about that a little bit too. And I'm going to stay positive today. So we can, I did move us back to Germany. I know we're getting close to moving down through France and into Spain. But I wanted to start in Germany because I want to drive through Germany, because I guess with this patch, it is like done now, right? All the upgrades that they were making to Germany, one of the oldest parts of the map. So let's drive around Germany and see what those upgrades look like. We'll drive to Munich first, 540K. And we do have, I know I'm all over the map right now, but I also built this. This is a B slider, right? So if we go here, we go to Trailer Manager. We were driving this last video, and I was referring to this as a B double. Now, I thought a B double was full-size front, and then the load carrier in the back, or reverse. But when you mix and match, I thought that made a B double set. But then when you look at this one, and it may not let us configure it because we're using it, yeah. But you can see it up here in the mini-map. This one, we've got the load carrier up front. Mini-map, you know what I mean? The window here. We got the load carrier up front. We got the full-size trailer in the back. Is this a B double? And then this is just a regular double, but not a full-size double? I don't know. But I've heard this referred to as a B slider because this little rig under here, when you don't have a trailer on the back, this wheel assembly moves forward. Although with the box here, maybe it couldn't. I don't know. I just want to use the correct terminology, yo. All right, so we got GPS dialed in. Let's get the brakes off here and be on our way. So overall, I would have to say I'm not unimpressed, and I really do appreciate what SCS is doing to keep this game current. But I am concerned. I have to say, I am legitimately concerned because this is, again, it's been out for less than an hour, and it is a beta. Less than an hour, less than a day. It's been out for less than a day, and it is a beta. Did we not accept that? Man, I am so scattered right now. I do apologize. Did we not grab it? Set as GPS destination. There we go. All right. Still not seeing it. What? Do we have to pull out before we can see it? Because I'm not seeing any type of arrow or indication what way they want us to go. Sometimes it releases after you leave the yard. Sometimes it does not. Left, right, I don't know. Jeez. Turn right. All right. I mean, I'll turn right, but I would really like to see. Interesting. Is it not going to give us an arrow? Is that a setting I need to configure? It's telling me to turn right. The combo is, I was just talking about that. I think this is the B slider combo, and it's base game. We're not running any mods right now other than the skin mods. We're not running any trailer mods. No nothing. Hang on. Let's take a look in the settings here and see if we can, because I feel like something's missing. Keep route advisor hidden? No. Navigation? Always? Let's try that. Hey, there we go. All right. Yeah, Taro, you're from that part of the world. Can you clarify for me what makes a B double? I thought a B double was when you had a big trailer and a small trailer in combo. But now I'm thinking maybe a B double is only when you have the load carrier up front and the full-size trailer in the back. So this is definitely a B double. I thought it was a B slider. If we had the full-size trailer in the front and the little one in the back, the load carrier in the back, is that still a B double or is that just a double? I thought a double was when you had two full-size. I feel like everything's sort of tying in together, like in my whole gaming world. Because as it stands right now, like I said, we're only running skin mods. There are a few light mods that I'd like to bring back in. once they're sort of approved. And like I said, the Alex D lights, I think it's Alex D, the Alex D 5500K lights, of course we would want to be very careful with that. And as I said to start the video, it could be that's why modders do it that way. They limit their mod to the version that you're currently on, and that's it. And it could be so they don't make their way to dodgy mod sites. It could be for a lot of reasons, but I choose to believe it's so when the game patches up, it breaks their mod, and that way you can never say, this mod broke my save game. It doesn't load in, and it's not a part of that patch until they patch it up. So normally, that's a little frustrating for me. But reading what I was today on the forums, that this patch is so intensive that anything that affects lighting or rendering or baking or PBR or anything can really permanently damage your save game in a way that the new lighting effects will never work properly. I think that is why some modders fix their mods so they will not work in a new patch until the modder patches them manually. So I'd like to bring some of those lights back in, but I swear, man, every time I go through this in any sim, whether it's something like X-Plane, whether it's here in Truck Sim, we're about to go through it again in ATS as well. Every time I go through this, I feel like I just want to run less mods. And at some point, we may get to a point where the quality of the game is such that we don't really need mods. Or if we do choose mods, that it's only a few of them, 3 or 4, and that's a lot easier to manage than 30 or 40. B slider, I thought so. Now this, because we have the pallet box underneath the load carrier, I don't think that little wheel assembly can slide forward, but I know in a B slider, a true B slider, it can. So, all right, let's pick up our job here. What? That's not where we want to be. Do we not? Oh my goodness, this day. We need to back up a little bit. Where's our trigger? There it is. Golly. All right, we're going to make this happen. Picking up our ammunition. In Finland, we have now the 30-meter combo. Semi-dolly semi. Pulling unit, 2 full trailers. Yeah, I don't fully understand the naming convention. I try to be as accurate as possible. Plus, I don't want to sound like a Grom, right? Oh, today we're driving the B double, and then you get a comment like, "That's not a B double, fool." All right. So as often as possible, I want to have the correct terminology, but some of this stuff is a little bit vague, a little bit elusive. All right, so we'll get loaded up here and be on our way. And there's a couple things I think you can do. Well, a couple things I know you can do to make your world easier. And it's 3:15 right now, 3:15 in game. So when we get loaded up, it'll be 4:15. So hopefully we'll drive in the dark a little bit and we can confirm how the lights are working. I can tell you at the moment, you can't see the lights on pavement in daylight. And I don't know if that's something they're going to fix. We're at 71 FPS right now on ultra settings. And ETS is definitely running better than ATS at the moment. I don't know why that is, but I feel like ATS is really same settings on ATS as ETS. And we get, I don't know, 15 to 20 less FPS in ATS baseline, and then when you go into a city in ATS or when you're in a forest, it drops even further. So yeah, right now we're capped at 60, and we're having no problem maintaining 60 on ultra settings. I did notice when it rained, now this was in my profile that I tried to bring in, I did notice when it rained we dropped to about 30 FPS, but that was a modded save game. And I'm aware that I may have kind of broken the lighting by trying to start the game with those mods running. And it was laughable, like how bad the lighting was. It was obviously broken. there's no way they would have released that as a patch. So as soon as I saw it, I knew I had broken, at least for the interim, I had broken my save game. I may have broken it permanently, but I have backups. But once I loaded into a new profile, vanilla save game with just the skins, everything seems to be looking a lot better. And we'll see how it looks at night if it continues to hold. Oh, right on. Thanks, Taro. And we are making a right out of here. So I think the game's running just fine. We can sneak out here, and this is, yep, kind of a mighty right turn we need to make here. Carefully. I also noticed the AI is still the AI, and I've been hit by a couple cars where I can honestly say it was not my fault. And I noticed I didn't get a ticket, and I didn't take any damage. So I don't know if that was just coincidence, or I just got lucky a couple times, or if the devs have maybe adjusted it. I see enough threads about the AI being a little broken at the moment. Maybe the next best thing, rather than trying to reconfigure the AI and make it work differently, maybe the next best thing is just to take away tickets and damage until they get it sorted. I've noticed that happened a couple times. So we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get hit by 80 cars, but if we do, let's see if we get a ticket or if we take any damage. And regardless, I'll still try to drive as carefully as possible. It's not like I want to get tickets or want to hit cars if I know I'm not going to get tickets. But yeah, everything feels really good, really crisp, no stuttering, no micro freezes. We are loading off SSD, and I bumped my RAM up about 3 months ago. I bumped from 16 up to 32 and went to 3200. But when I run MSI Afterburner, this game never goes above about 10 gig of RAM use. So there was really for this game anyway, there was really no need to go to 32. But we've got plenty of RAM, and we are loading off SSD, so I think that helps with the micro stutters and the freezes. I've seen a lot of threads saying that SSD it's really the best way to beat those freezes. That if you're having freezes in game, it very often comes from tile loading or some type of image or texture or big file being called from storage. And if you can get to SSD, it will typically help that. I don't know if that's true for every title, but I have noticed a difference. All right, right in there. Yep, nice and smooth, 60 FPS. I think the game definitely looks a little darker. I mean, looking down, I think the instruments look good. Looking through the wheel, and here we go, here's some rain, so let's see what happens to frame rate. I'm going to leave the lights off for a minute. I'll risk the ticket. But let's see what happens to frame rate with rain and no lights. Carefully through. I do need to get my wipers on, but my thumb is occupied right now. There we go. No real drop so far. Maybe 5 or 6 FPS. Yeah, no real drop. Still nice and fast, nice and crisp. So we'll run another minute or two and then throw some lights on. Yep, I need to, in this save game, I don't have a garage in Finland yet, but once I get a garage in Finland, I will build one of those. I have one in my other save game, my other profile. Bump these up a little bit. Here's our first detour. All right. I mean, I like the lighting. What I'm seeing so far, I like the lighting. It seems like it's got a little bit more depth to it. That's what I was saying. If you look through the steering wheel, I feel like the instruments have, they look better. They just look more real. But I did notice, and it could be something I need to adjust in anti-aliasing, or just something that they'll get ironed out as we move through the beta. But this wheel we're looking at is, as far as I know, the steering wheel is just a DDS. I don't even know if it's wrapped around a 3D model. I think it might just be a DDS, just an image file, transparent image file. And the reason we can only go so far to the left and right is that if we went any further than that, the shadows and the perspective would start to look all wrong. So there have been times when I've been in this new lighting where looking down at the dashboard, at the instruments, you can really see, or I can really see, just a couple of transparent image files stacked on top of one another. It had a very 2D, very flat look to it. And I think some of that may be the anti-aliasing, where around the edges of those image files, as they sort of occlude one another, that edge is a problem area. And I wouldn't say it's like a deal breaker, but just something they would, I don't know, hopefully want to address. All right, so we're at 55 FPS in the rain. Let's turn some lights on and see how we do. Instantly drop about 5 FPS. So we're high 40s now, but still nice and crisp. No stuttering or jerking or anything. And yeah, I mean, looking down at the lights in the instrument panel now, I do think there's a difference. I mean, obviously there's a difference. It's a whole new lighting system that they've worked a long time on, but you know what I mean. It's I can notice a difference, and I do like the way it looks. And it doesn't seem to be a massive impact on performance. Although I feel like I'm not seeing the headlights in front of us. And in the previous lighting system, in these types of conditions, we would definitely be able to see the headlights on the pavement. So let's see what happens to our frame rate as it continues to get dark. Because if we're not rendering lights right now, right, then that's gonna be a big boost to FPS. And I've got everything turned on. Everything's maxed out, and we've got reflected light turned on. So let's see what happens as it gets darker. How things look. And the trucks do continue to feel nice and heavy. We're not running any physics mods or anything. The trucks have a nice weight to them. I know physics in Truck Sim has historically been pretty rudimentary. Fried, how you doing? It's been pretty basic on the physics side. But I feel like for what they're working with, it's not bad. And let's take a look here at the stop sign. I forget this all the time. But let's take a look and confirm that we'll be going around the detour. Because I know I forget sometimes that if you just go back to the interchange where the detour was, you can sometimes still end up on the wrong side of it, and then you're just in the loop. Okay. So I'm going to do this quickly. We are here. Do we want to go down this way? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go down this way. And that way we'll be sure to go around it. From around 4:30 in the morning until dark, the lights can't be seen. Yeah, I'm finding that to be the case. Oh, I'm doing great, Fry. Thank you for asking. I'm having a fantastic Monday on Wednesday. It's one of those kind of days. Something that I noticed, and like I said, I'm trying to be positive. Trying to be positive about everything. Always am. But, you know, sometimes you need to be real too. And playing this game today is the first time I've ever, I wouldn't quite say panic, but playing this game when I was getting this vanilla profile going. It's the first time I've ever looked at this game and felt like, this is a 9-year-old game. And I do love it. It's one of my favorite titles, but in the same way that, you know, I'm sort of letting go of some titles that were very, I guess very important to me. That's not overstating it. Titles that were very important to me when I got back into gaming, titles like Project Cars 2, I'm uninstalling them because I never play them. And I'm on the verge of uninstalling Train Sim World, which a few months ago would have been kind of unthinkable. But I think we do, as people, we do move on, you know. And Western Shore, I loved it. I played it exclusively when it dropped a year ago. That was the only Farm Sim map I was playing. I was playing 17. I had 19 uninstalled. And I remember saying several times, if the game wasn't called Farm Sim 17, if the game was called The Western Shore, and there was just one map, and there had only ever been one map, I would still feel that this was playable. And I don't necessarily feel that way now. I think I did burn myself out on the Western Shore V1, and I'm enjoying V2, but I'm enjoying Chellington a lot more. And I wonder if I'm not moving forward to 19 now, and that'll be it for 17. And as much as I love the Western Shore, and as much as I respect Bullet Bill, that I just might not be playing 17 anymore. Right? Western Shore V2.0 or not. So I think there are times when you just let go of an old title. You're not playing it anymore. It's been overtaken by events, as they say. The world has moved past around it. And as much as I love this title, playing it today was the first time I realized, wow, they're all in on this 9-year-old game. I haven't even heard a rumor about ETS2. And I do wonder how much longer, improvements or not, I do wonder how much longer it will be possible to play this game before it starts looking like Minecraft. And I think we probably got another couple patches, but it will happen. And I don't know. Part of me wants to say I'm dreading that, but part of me realizes that the reason you would move past a game like this is because other better titles have come out. Oh, I don't doubt it, Taro. I mean, to me, the Western Shore is arguably the best map for FS17 for what it is. And what it is a UK style map. It's what I think of as a very realistic map. And it's got the perfect amount of clutter, the perfect amount of detail. It's actually got an extraordinary amount of detail. And for the amount of detail that it has, it plays really, really fast. But again, you know, everything is in context. If you like playing scripty style maps, right? German style maps, Western Shore is probably not doing it for you because it's got really no scripts at all. So for me, I think it's just about a perfect map, but I would never, that's one person's opinion. So I agree with you. There are a lot of good maps out there. Coldborough 5.0. Haven't seen it. Did Bullet Bill do the V5 or did another modder do it? Wow, this, I'll admit, coming right through there. The lighting coming right through here still. The lighting does look really, really good right now. It's got a really nice depth to it. Initially, I thought it was a little washed out, but it's got a nice, I don't know, a realism to it. So if this is the lighting that they've been working on, I would say we could call this a success. This is amazing. So good on them. Cuts both ways, though, like I said, because the work that they're putting into the title, it is definitely, it seems to me, and I could be wrong about this, but it seems to me that they are all in on ETS2. And that is, it's risky. It's wonderful, but it's risky. Because what's the progress on ETS3? And at some point there will have to be a new one. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Taro. And it's definitely, I mean, you can see the artist at work. You can see the stroke of the brush. Bullet Bill maps do tend to look very similar. So yeah, I hear where you're coming from. I think it looks great, Ernie. And at virtually no price on FPS. Now it is daylight, but maxed out, no penalty to FPS. Let's see how we do at night. Yeah, I agree with you. My concern is that 5 years from now, we're going to be waiting on the 1.51 patch for ETS2 and ATS, and it is going to look like Minecraft compared to what's out there. Because I know developers kind of borrow and steal from one another. And as the cards get better, let's get slowed down here. As graphics cards get better, I think it's just expected that developers continue to build content that is going to take advantage of them. I will need to take a look at this. More detailed than bullet bill maps. All right. I'll take a look. Oh, here we go. The Mini is in a hurry. Yeah, the lighting does have, it's got a softness to it now. It's got just a little bit of like a blur or a haze on it that I think is really, looks really authentic and really nice. It's like when you crank the anti-aliasing up and turn the anisotropic filtering down and make everything just a little bit fuzzy. It's got that sort of fuzzy look to it. Carefully. Trying not to hook this trailer, but I'm also trying not to drive off the road. Yeah, no complaints about this so far. But it did, and maybe that's just the, I don't know. Maybe that's just the cynical part of me, the cautious part of me that does wonder, you know, how are they allocating resources at SCS? And I'm certainly happy with what they're doing in the near term, but it does make me wonder about how things are going to work out in the long term. And we may keep this profile, because the thing about profiles now for me is because we're not running pro mods, and so we never need to worry about pro mod garages coming and going. So this profile that we're in right now is probably the cleanest profile that I've had in a couple of years. It's never had pro mods installed. It's got none of the other stuff. And if we only go with workshop mods, I mean, even the Akari trailers, because I feel like every patch, base game adds a couple more base game trailers. And the Akari trailers are amazing, but there are so many good base game trailers now. It's just one more mod that you can pull out. You know, one more mod that you can not miss, I guess is a good way to say it. Oh, here we go. Got the Jesus beams coming through the trees. Yep, very nice. So I do feel like the more mods you can pull out, of course, the more stable and the more smooth your game is going to run. And also the less... All right, it's about truck pulled right in there. Let's see if we get some lights. We got a little bit of a glow there on the pavement. We did drop... Let's try with and without. Okay, so there's without. That's 60 FPS. Lights on, we drop to 50 FPS. Okay. To be expected. Let's see if that continues dropping as it gets darker and darker. So I don't know. I don't think I would ever run completely mod free. I mean, at the very least, I'd have skins. But let's see if we can take it down to a bare minimum. Just to keep things smooth. You know, and that is... I think that's extending out across all sims and all titles. And I guess this is... I don't know if this is all new. I don't know if they carried through any parts of Germany. This looks really good, by the way. I don't know how this is rendering for you. But this is looking really, really good. All right. Props to SCS. And this is day 1 beta. So it's going to get tightened up. But this looks really, really good. And we're still at 50 FPS. On ultra settings, I'll take it. I don't even know if this game supports like multi-threading or how it utilizes resources. I'm told it doesn't utilize them very well. But yeah, this looks really, really good. Yeah, and they may, who knows? I mean, they may have dialed that back to keep the frame rate up. Oh yeah? I mean, I don't know if I could ever run without any mods, period. But I definitely want to trim it down. And I think it's, for me right now, the only mods that I was running, so in our previous save game, we have skin mods, which aren't really mods, they're just skins. And we've got the Akari trailers, and there's probably 7 or 8 of those total. Looking good even on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube loves to YouTube loves to step on quality. So if it's looking good on YouTube, it does look a little darker. But I feel like the fog and the mist is really, because we've been missing fog, right? That's why ETS trucks have no working fog lights, is because we've got no fog. But yeah, it's got, I feel like there's a nice, like the glow, the headlight glow on that sign right there. And even just kind of the soft glow coming off the instrument lights, and the little bit of glow and distortion like from the illuminated buttons on the steering wheel. I think it looks great. Yeah, exactly, Ernie. I'm looking all around. I'm seeing a lot of nice things. Oh, careful. Well, I would say that this... Oh my God! Look at the brake lights when I tap the brakes. What? Oh, it's fantastic. We got to go third person here. Oh, this is really coming alive right now. The darker it gets, the better it looks. And we're still... Wow, we actually went back to 60. Interesting. Okay, I wonder if it was trying to render, like when we still had sunlight and the headlights on, I wonder if it was rendering 2 sets of lights at the same time. Because, yeah, we're back to a solid 60. I know it. Look at this. Hang on, we're going to go third person and see what all these lights are. What? Oh my goodness. Those headlights. Oh, SCS. This... Oh, and the glow of the taillights on the landing gear. This looks really, really amazing. You know what, Taro? I just had the boy wash the trailer. Last time I was at my home base, I had the boy scrub it up nice. He went a little crazy with the buffer. So for one day only, we've got a shiny, reflective curtain sider. Little bit of pop in. Check out this next overhead sign as we come up to it. Little bit of pop in on the headlight reflection. It does arrive sort of all of an instant. Yeah, it just sort of pops right up there. But for the most part, yeah, right. Oh, hang on. Let's don't wreck the truck. Yep, that is the whole core of 1.40 is new lighting engine, new lighting system. Sorry, I don't want to go fanboy, but this is unbelievable. This looks so much better. And we're over 60 FPS now. We're at 65. I have a feeling that the truck lights and traffic lights and the sunlight, I have a feeling those are 2 different lighting systems, and the reason we don't, I'm just speculating, but the reason we don't have headlights in daylight is so those 2 lighting systems aren't competing and taxing you. Because as the sun went down, we were at 50, and when it went down completely, we went back to 60. Yeah, SCS is amazing. And my concern about the lack of progress toward ETS2, it's not because I don't love them, and it's not because I don't appreciate them. It's because I really don't know how far they can take Prism 3D. I mean, if they can make Prism 3D look like Havoc or Unreal or Unity or something, great. I mean, why not? Why would you port your game to a new engine or invest the resources in developing a new engine when you can make your 20-year-old engine work great? I just don't know if they can make Prism 3D look great. But, I mean, they certainly crushed it on this one. This is amazing. I think those little flickers that are coming down the windscreen periodically, I think those are meant to represent, like, a kind of compound reflection, maybe coming in from the rearview mirror as a car passes us. So let's see what happens when this... I think we're going to get passed right here. Let's see what happens when this car passes us. If we get those little... Yeah, we get that little cascade. That, I have to say, doesn't seem really well executed. It seems like it's just playing a little animation. That's not too good. They could pull that out. Now, we passed a truck with some beacons on, and it looked really good, so let's see what these beacons look like as we pass. Oh my goodness. What? And that is base game. That's not a mod. This is crazy. I mean, if they can keep Prism 3D alive, good on them. That's my concern, is that it's just too old, but it doesn't... It seems to be looking... it seems to be working just fine in 1.40. Yeah, it's amazing. And it seems like there's just enough blowout and haze to look very, very realistic. I remember when they put the headlight glow into the signs, and in real life, when you get headlights glowing on a reflective sign, it does, you know, your night vision, your eyes are wide open, your retinas are all dilated, and reflected headlights on a reflective sign can be really like too bright. And I feel like they got that effect down really, really well. There's just the right amount of bleed. You know, Fried, I think everybody is. If you've ever been on Truckers MP, people really love beacons. And there's always, right? Some boomer is always like, oh, that's an inappropriate application of beacons. Man, just lighten up. If I want to run beacons, I'll run beacons. And in fact, when we get into our next town, let's throw some beacons on so we can see what those look like. If there was a way to disable that passing headlight effect being passed from the rear, that sort of cascade, I think the reason is the shadow map looks like it's about 128 by 128. It's just massive blocks of light. There's nothing soft about it at all. So I could do without that. I'm finding it to be kind of distracting. But other than that, yeah, this is really, really amazing. Yeah, I mean, I try to reserve them for somewhat appropriate situations, but I agree with you. I'm an absolute sucker for beacons, and oh, here we go. Here's another set. Oh, get ready. Hang on. Oh, we got a town over there. I couldn't do both. I was trying to look at the beacons and look at that town. Well, we'll see the town that we're getting to. We'll see that town that we're getting to when we... Oh, really? Okay. And we're getting tired, and we're going to be late. All right. Yeah, exactly, Fried. And okay, hang on. Let's take a look over here. No, we already passed it. You know what this reminds me of is the jump in lighting from FS17 to FS19. That just such a massive difference. And it's like you sort of knew that maybe there could be a better way to do it, but until you see the better way, it doesn't really strike you as that big a part of the game. But this is, I mean, I love driving at night. I'm hooked, man. Yeah, we'll hop back out third person. Did I need to get over there? It's one of these German exits. No, I think I'm okay. I thought that looked really good third person as well. Yep, that car snuck up behind us. I don't know if you saw that. It was sort of split the difference whether that was my fault or their fault. I had the signal on and I was coming over, and they did move into the space that I was about to be in. But even though we hit that car, no damage and no ticket. So I feel like they have, for the moment at least, unless there's a setting and I have it turned off, I don't, as far as I know, there is no setting for tickets and damage. But I'll take a look. It does seem at the moment like it is turned off because I've made contact with a couple cars when I was getting the save game ready and also since we started. And I haven't Haven't taken any damage and I haven't gotten any tickets. We'll take a look when we get into... Where did we say we're going? Munich? Let's sneak back over here. Yeah, this is like a whole new game. It looks better, I think, in daylight, but nighttime is when it just absolutely comes alive. And it is, in-game, it is 1 a.m., so maybe it's not going to be as dark as it has been. You know, it was one of the, not really complaints. Yeah, I guess maybe it is a complaint. Let's pull in here and sleep. One of the complaints about the game is then when it gets dark, it gets really dark. Alright, so we just tapped that truck behind us and we did take damage and get a ticket, so if that is a setting, I don't have it turned off. And we'll get fuel here. Yeah, really smooth, really crisp, no stutter at all, no micro freeze, and now right now at this fuel stop we're at about 50 FPS, but everywhere else we were 60. All right, set the brake, lights off. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. All right. Engine back on, lights on. Yeah, I think the optimization is really good. Oh, you go, sir. Got a bit of gridlock here. Sir? I mean, can we do it? Carefully. Carefully. Yeah, Chrome looks a little, yeah, not the best at the moment, but again, we'll give them an opportunity to tune all that up. Yeah, this looks... And the interior lighting right now, as we're driving under these street lights, looks really good. Frame rate is still holding, high 40s. But you know, all the sort of compound crisscrossing shadows you get when you're driving under streetlights. Seeing a lot of that, well executed. Right through here. A little bit of chug right there as we made that turn. Not terrible. And we may be able to fit this whole thing into the trigger, we may not. I know sometimes it accepts it and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't accept it, we will just unhook. Oh, it takes it. Okay. So down to neutral, windows are down. Set the brake. Parking lights on. And engine is off. Do I have a skylight? Potentially. It seems I do. All right. Oh, man, I wish it was nighttime again. All right, let's get on up out of here. Streetlights coming into the truck. Yeah, it's... I mean, the feeling I got moving through that parking lot was extremely realistic as far as, you know, the way that feels in real life, or looks, I guess is a better word for it. The way that looks in real life when it's very dark outside, late at night, and you drive under those types of lights. All right. So I think we're going to be late. It's okay. I think I added in 2 million euro. So no worries there. At the moment, it seems like all the cast light may be disabled in daylight. Because I really didn't see anything as far as brake lights. And that may be something they sort out later as we move through the beta, or it could be something that they have intentionally deactivated so they don't have two lighting systems competing. That's only... I'm just guessing when I say that, but I feel like the daylight system is one lighting system, and then the generated lights on the truck are a second lighting system. Or another, you know what I mean, like another occurrence, another instance of the same lighting system, so maybe it is rigged that both won't be operating at 100% at the same time. I can't think of any other reason why FPS would drop momentarily as we had sunlight and headlights on, and then pick up again once the sun went down. Yeah, and that's... I think that's... I don't know, is that a double reflection? I don't know how accurate that is. I know, like, the mirrors right now that we're looking at, they're not really mirrors. It's just rendering the scene from another angle. But then what you see in there... So, like, the stripe going by on the truck, you can see the pavement stripe flashing on and off. You can't really see it now. Going around this bend, you'll be able to see it. Or, like, when a vehicle passes us. Yeah, so that vehicle is definitely being reflected in the side of the truck. And I think that means the side of the truck itself is another view. Does that make sense? Anytime you can see things that are happening in the world someplace other than where you're looking, that's another camera. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, I mean, I think if there's a way that you can get rid of all your mods, or if you just want to park your current profile till all the mods get patched up and then bring it back in, but it's... I mean, I want it to be nighttime again so I can drive at night again. That's how good it looks. And it's just got... Yeah, it's just kind of a nice soft look to it. I'm looking for... I mean, I'm not looking for things to not like about it. But I did have... Several times I did have the impression when I looked down at the steering wheel, it just looked like a floating image in front of another image. And that's the first time I've really noticed that in Truck Sim. Not a deal breaker. But it got me thinking, like I was saying earlier, how much longer can they keep this game looking... I'm driving at night a few minutes ago. This looked as... I think as good as I've ever seen Truck Sim look when comparing it to other titles. And I know it's never going to compare to something like Tomb Raider. It's a different animal. I don't expect it to compare to that. But when you have things like Tomb Raider and Witcher and, you know, those are the titles that we think of as the best looking games. It's really hard not to compare other titles to them. So I know it's never going to look like that. But driving at night there, I think the game looks as good as it's ever looked. I mean, as it should, if they just updated it. There you go. One with and one without. Yeah, I think it looks really, really good. Yeah, exactly. Now, unfortunately, that sort of cuts the other way. Cuts both ways. Because the game is known to run on anything. Get our lift axle up here. You know, that's the sort of the joke about Truck Sim is you can run it on a potato. I wonder what this is going to do. Now, that's like that's developer level advanced. If they can somehow make the game look the way it's looking for me and it still runs on a potato, Yeah, I think it was the lighting mods that I had that broke everything. And they may or may not get patched up. If they don't, because most of them are from the workshop. Some of them are loose in the wild third-party mods. And if that's the case, and they don't get updated, and I can't update them myself, then I think maybe I'll just go without those mods, and that'll put us back into more or less running without mods. Just DLC and a few from the workshop.
Get ready to turn left.
And let's do this. Let's go around the block and discover whatever it is that's over there.
Turn left.
Yeah, I couldn't be more impressed with this. Very, very cool. But I hope they know what they're doing. I really do, because this seems like... And the best way that I can describe it is this really does seem like they're going all in on Prism 3D. But for how long? Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Ernie. And I mean, I've seen what I think of as reasonable people on the internet. I've seen reasonable people on the internet say, you know, that's what low settings are for. To say that, you know, this game doesn't run well on my low-end system on ultra settings. Well, that's why there are low settings. That's why there are medium settings.
Get ready to turn left.
So as long as it can keep running, period. As long as people can manage... I mean, when I was playing the game on just a regular HP Pentium laptop, not a gaming system, I was getting between 15 and 20 FPS. And it was right after I got back into gaming. I was happy as could be. I didn't know what I was missing. I really had no basis of comparison. I thought it was fine. And I see that all the time. And somebody in a thread will say, you know, on 8K settings, I can't get 120 FPS. And somebody else in the thread is like, man, shut the F up. I'm playing on, you know, and they list their specs. And I'm playing at 20 FPS on medium settings, and I'm happy as can be. I don't even want to hear about your 8K problems. So I do think the devs are aware of that, and they will always, maybe not on ultra, but on medium or low settings, you'll always be able to make the game run in a way that you can at least enjoy yourself. Get your truck on. Finally, we're here. So let's slide right in here. We're definitely late. I don't know how late we are. I'm going to say 10 to 12 hours. All right, there's neutral. Set the brake, read the chat. Yeah, that's another, I think that's another really cool thing that SCS does, is they keep that archive. Both for people that, how late are we? 10 hours. Yeah, that's about right. Oh God, 26 grand. We made $0 and 0 XP. Thank you very much. I'm glad I added all that money. We're still on 1 million. 1 million. All right, let's do this. Let's go buy a garage. And where would that be? I think it's super cool that SCS keeps that archive. And I mean, the game is on sale right now for $5. It's going to be on sale until the 9th for $5. You can buy this game for $5 today. €5. $5. I guess they're just covering payroll. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're making money from it anymore. It seems like they're making money from DLC. So to maintain an archive for people who prefer to play the game on, you know, with different sort of base code, right? DX9, however you want to play it, or if you've got favorite mods that never got updated, that is Yeah, I hear you, Fried. I think it would be really cool if they made it so tickets took away XP, right? So like if you've got all your ADR and you can haul super profitable jobs and you get too many tickets, you lose your HDR placards. Sorry, ADR placards. You lose your ADR placards, you can't haul those jobs anymore. Or you lose the ability to haul long distance jobs or whatever. Yeah, I think they are the best out there at really understanding and taking care of their fans. And I do worry, like I said, that's the cynical part of me. I worry that they are doing it now to their own detriment, where they are so focused on what their customers are asking for that they're not giving their customers what they really want, right? That's the great Henry Ford quote. He said, if I had given people what they asked for, I would have bred faster horses. So I do think at some point, fans might need a little tough love, you know? Thank you. Fans and consumers might need a little tough love, and I wonder sometimes if easy. Got a lot going on right now. If SCS doesn't need to say, hey, listen, what we're going to do is stop development of all future patches and spend the next 18 months building the next game. So no patches, no DLC, no hot fixes, no nothing for the next year and a half, but then you'll get a new game which will probably not run well on low-end systems, but will carry us into, 2031 or whenever. That would be kind of a bitter pill, but the result would be a better game. But I think a lot of people would be very angry about that. Yeah, exactly, Ernie. Exactly. And it's entirely possible that they know more about their company than I do. Go figure. And I'm sure they do. And it could be that they have, a long-term roadmap that does include a new title. Or possibly that they have technology in store that will keep Prism 3D running for the next 5 years or 10 years. But I really do. I can't imagine. Because 5 years from now, Prism 3D will be 25 years old. I can't imagine that they would be able to do that. All right, so if we buy this garage, and we're not playing not exactly street legal at the moment, but we're doing what we've got to do. Okay, so we need to buy, I think, one more garage, and then we can get a garage in Finland and get the bigger double. TPG, Foxy, what's happening? How you doing? So why don't we, how we doing on sleep? Let's see how we're doing on sleep. I think we did just sleep. Bring this up. Yeah, we did just sleep. So we can take another job, and we want to stay in Germany, both so we can continue to see how they're working on Germany, and also because we can't leave Germany with this trailer set on. So let's try to go up in here somewhere. And I think, can we go into the Netherlands? I think we might be able to. So that's Hanover. That's sort of up that way. Duisburg, that's exactly up that way. I did see that, Foxy, and I'm super excited about it. I got so excited, I started tripping over my own words. Hang on, let me have some coffee. And I found this. I found 1.40 for ETS, looking for 1.40 for ATS. I thought it was available already, and by the time I'm done with the stream, it may be, because it seems very close. They've added the bug thread on the forum, the 1.40 ATS bug thread. They've added yes, Friday it is. It's going to be for both of them, and yep, Foxy, I'm so excited to have like a 20 axle truck. Can't wait. So we can pull through here now. We're configured for our new job. I don't want to back out. All right, I can hear traffic back there honking at me. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing, Foxy. We were driving at night a while ago. Hopefully before we get to Duisburg, we drive at night again. What was the best thing so far? The cast light at night. The way the truck lights look on pavement at night is absolutely unbelievable. Man, I'm driving this thing like a two-door Honda right now. Of course, I say that, and I'm about to like hook it on something or completely wad it up. Beacons, that's it. Let's drive past, let's go to the left out of here. We'll go over to the MAN dealer, which is also a diesel shop. Let's get some beacons put on so we can, you know what I'm saying? So we can have some beacons of our own. Let's see how that looks. And oh, I can't. I was going to say I can limit myself to base game beacons, but I have to because I don't have any other beacons installed at the moment. I am on a Razer Wolverine Ultimate Gamepad.
Keep right, and then turn right.
All right. Thought we caught the yellow. Apparently not. And something I think this game does really, really well is the visibility. And you have to stay way out to the left when you make a right turn so you don't hook the trailer. And the way the angles are in the sight lines, I guess as they are in a real truck, it certainly seems like you're going to drive right into that oncoming traffic. But there is actually clearance. It doesn't seem like there would be, but there is. I think that's really well executed. It forces you to stay out to the left and sort of get out of your comfort zone. But there's clearance, no matter how far over you go. Well, I mean, not, you know what I mean. If you drive into traffic, then obviously you're going to hit something, but you do have to really know where the edges of your truck are. Right, down to neutral. Set the brake. All right, I'm on TrackIR at the moment, so I'm always looking everywhere. So we'll do that. Let's come in here and we'll go truck configurator. Put some beacons on top. That one right there, and I think we can put some beacons on here. LED strobe, and then maybe one on the side as well. Yeah, let's do an LED strobe back there and one back there. And I really like this little Actros with the tuning pack, the Actros tuning pack. I think it looks great. Very utilitarian little truck. Yeah, I think I'm always going to try to play realistically. All right, so go back in here, turn these on. Oh, thanks, Foxy. And what time of day is it? It's 1 p.m., so we should get into, before we get to our drop-off yard, I think we'll get back into some nighttime driving. So brake is off, put her in gear, windows down, lift axle up. Here we go. Because we need to drive around the block here and get loaded up. It's 1 p.m. now. It'll be 2 p.m. before we leave. It gets dark about 7 local time. You know, I kind of like the plastic. I think it's got a nice kind of utilitarian matte finish. I think it looks nice for trim pieces. All right, very carefully.
Turn left.
Very carefully. Here we go. Mount the curb just briefly. Not too bad. I'll turn this off now. Don't need that. Lift axle, it just, in real life, it just reduces the turn radius. Allows you to make tighter turns. But then when you get out on the highway, when you drop the lift axle, it spreads the weight over more square inches. Yeah, Foxy, I have to admit, we're playing on some found money right now. Apparently, we won the Powerball, and that's what we used to finance our trucking company, because we started with quite a bit of money. But I had to build a new vanilla profile. I tried to come in with my current 1.39 save game, and it broke the lighting, so very quickly, before the stream started, I had to create a new profile and just add some money and level up. Yep, I try to use it fried. Some of the trucks have an indicator on the instrument panel, others don't. So I do have to go third person to see whether or not the lift axle is up or down. And that is not entirely immersive, but I don't know what else to do about it. Exactly. I won El Gordo, decided to start a trucking company. I do feel like this yard, like it sends us to this yard. It doesn't matter what city we're in. It sends us to this same yard for pickup and delivery when you're running the double trailer. Whoop, hang on. There we go. Forgot to stop at the trigger. But it still gave it to us. We're close enough. All right. So we are hauling. Yeah, I'm so used to the same yard. I was just pulling right up to the load point. We're hauling this to Duisburg. Beautiful. And if we're not late, we'll make 30 grand. If we're not late. All right, brake is off. Throw in gear. Here we go. I just want it to be nighttime again so I can see the taillights. As of 1 p.m. local, when I started the stream, ATS was not available. But I think it's supposed to be available today because, like I said, on the forums, people said that they've added the folder, 1.40 folder. They've added a 1.40 bug thread on the forum. Right there. Set the brake. Let's get loaded up. One 1.40 is available. Fantastic. As soon as I'm done here, I will get it downloaded and get a skin going. Yep, there's a UK high-speed rail for TSW2 available today. It was on sale until this morning for 10% off, but I think once it was released, then it went to full price, so $30. Foxy, I've never, I mean, I feel like I've built enough profiles that I don't want to start again with like a 250 horsepower truck. It just takes too long to level up, and I only play the game a couple hours a week when I'm streaming. Other than in stream, I never play the game. Which is not, I mean, I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. I don't put as many hours into it as I used to. So you'd never see anything interesting in stream. I would always be driving the same very small, low horsepower truck. And I wouldn't be able to buy any interesting trucks or trailers to skin. And I do spend time working on the skins, so I feel like I want those, you know what I'm saying? I want those visible. And it's not competitive. You know, I get it when developers, anytime a game is competitive or sort of loot-based, that they don't want you enhancing your character because it makes it no fun for other players. But I'm only in SP, and even in MP, it's not a competitive game. So I don't have any problem adding a little bit of money now and then, or leveling up fast every now and then. I feel kind of strongly about that, I have to say. If you buy a title and you're single player only, I feel like you should be able to play it any way you want. I know some developers will block or ban if they detect money ads in single player. I don't think that's appropriate. Yeah, exactly. Same as Farm Sim. You know, different people have different amounts of time and different interest. You know, as far as how they want a game. So I do like, it's sort of a, I don't know, like a modified sandbox mode. I do still try to drive as realistically as possible. I leave fatigue simulation turned on. I have all the realism settings maxed out. Trailer stability and braking intensity is turned way down. So I do like the game to be challenging. I just find it a little bit grindy to rebuild from zero every time you start a new save game. And I'm sure some people love it, you know, and they really look forward to it. I know Tarkov and there's some other sort of shooting games, loot-based shooting games that do a wipe periodically, where all players lose everything and then everybody starts again with nothing. And it stings a little bit because you lose all the work you did, but I know some players look forward to it because they're forced now to start again, do the tasks, do the quests, you know, stuff that they haven't really been doing. They've just been, I don't know, grinding. Or if they have a super powerful character, they've just been kind of rolling. So it is nice to get a wipe, and I'm guessing that some people really do love rebuilding from scratch in ATS or ETS, but I personally don't. Level 7. Yeah, I always try to go the speed limit, and I take tickets very seriously. Now this car behind us now is absolutely waiting for us to come over. I don't know, man. Traffic is just, I feel like it's just a little bit erratic, a little bit unpredictable still. There are times when it seems very mindful, and then other times it's just absolutely buck wild. So we're good on fuel, we're good on sleep. We may be able to make it all the way to Duisburg. And it is 3 p.m. in game, so another 6 or 7 minutes. Hopefully it'll start getting dark again. And I'll talk you through the FPS as the sun goes down. Right now we're hitting the rev limiter at 60. And if we turn lights on, we drop to 53 instantly. Even though you can't see the lights, we do drop when we turn the lights on in daylight. Turn the lights off, we go back to capped at 60. Okay. That was really interesting when the sun went down yesterday in game, that we had to turn our lights on because it was getting dark. And we did see a drop until the sun went down, and then the FPS came right back. All right. With what they've done with this lighting, I would say they've added, I don't know, probably a year, 18 months to the life of this game. Keeping the patient alive. Yeah, it looks really good. And even in daylight, it seems like I know fog has been something they've been kind of chasing in this game. Back when I first got into it, that was 1.25, I think, 1.26. There were some fog mods. And basically, they just turned the trees in the distance white, and then the sky behind them would be black. It looked really, really fake. Not a good look at all. But I feel like since DX11, they have been able to kind of render out the different layers and distance and make things in the distance, you know, as you get further away. We learned this from Bob Ross. As you get further away, things get softer and lighter, right? Blurred edges and lighter. So as you're rendering layers out toward the far horizon, I think it's possible to give a pretty good sort of fake fog look, right? It's just like a trick in the graphics. It's not real fog, it's not real particulate, right? Not real particles in the air, but it works. Now what they're doing seems to be like actual particulate in the air. Like there's something in the air that light is reflecting off of. Try to carefully look out here. We also went past, I mean, I know we pulled into, where did we deliver? Munich? We pulled into Munich in daylight. But when we were driving at night, I did see a couple towns. You know those towns that are, I guess they're just scenery towns? You pass them, but you can't go to them. Right? There will be a town like in a valley. next to the highway. But you can't get to it. It's strictly scenery. We passed one, and I was trying to look at beacons, so I wasn't able to go third person to see it quickly enough, but those towns looked amazing. Yeah, isn't it though, Fried? I leave those up there. Both to remember where the Sims used to be and to remember where I used to be. But yeah, gaming it's just amazing progress in the past couple of years. We'll keep grabbing gears here. Keep downshifting. Come on, little truck. Oh, even the tunnels look nicer. Is this the first tunnel we've gone through? I want to say it is. Oh, pretty brutal pop in right there. But I don't know if you know this. They use tunnels sometimes to transition from one tile to the next. So we were loading a tile there when we got that pop in. Yeah, Ernie, it's amazing. It's an old game. And I say this with love, but even when it was new, it wasn't that great. You know, I'm looking forward to, as soon as I'm done here, I'm looking forward to hopping in ATS. I want to see what it looks like in there, and I want to drive some of those new trailers straight away. I was going to fly this afternoon. I flew from Brussels to Vienna yesterday, and I was going to fly from Vienna to Helsinki as soon as I was done with the stream, but I think I'm going to hop in ATS instead. Man, you know what we could do? No. Let's not get crazy. Everybody just be cool. I was thinking what we could do is throw up the BRB screen and hop into ATS right now. I mean, as soon as we're done with this delivery, we could just transition over, start a vanilla profile. Yeah, same. I want to be done. That's it. That's the end of the stream. We're going to stop right now. Just so I can hop in ATS. We'll drive all the way to Duisburg. And also, I mean, we're out of January. January, I know, is a completely... Oh, careful. January is a completely dead month in gaming. It's just everybody's on vacation in the studios, and everybody in the real world is broke. But there's some new titles and DLC starting to drop. I mean, we can certainly try it. I would have to... how would I do that? Yeah, I mean, everything's coming in off SSD. I want to say that the download for 1.40 and ETS took about 4 or 5 minutes. So let's see how we're doing when we get to Duisburg. And the other thing I can do is end this stream, hop off, make all the changes, right? And then just start another ATS stream. And where are we at? Now coming up on 5 p.m. in-game, so the sun will be setting here soonish. I'm also curious if I have to build all new skins. Start a new stream? Yeah, I think that's best. Because best case scenario is just 2 or 3 minutes. Worst case scenario is it's like 15 minutes. So what would happen is I would go to the BRB screen, start dicking around with ATS, trying to get 1.40 downloaded, and then like 10 minutes later say, yeah, no. End of stream. So rather than risk it, we'll finish up ETS. And I'll start ATS either tonight or first thing tomorrow. Because all of you play it, so I know everybody wants to hop in there as well. But surely I'm not the only person who is gaming while I'm streaming. Not streaming, like watching a stream. If you're in Steam, you want to go to right click on the title, then properties. Hang on. I mean, some of those models are a little Minecraft. Some of those houses back there, but you know what? It's a truck simulator. It's not a sightseeing simulator. if you right-click on the title in your library, go to Properties, go to Betas, and see if you can pull it down under there. Yeah, there you go. Properties, then Betas. I feel like it's got a softer look to it. I feel like all the lighting has just kind of a softer, fuzzier look. And we're getting a little bit of picket fence off the guardrails, but that's just anti-aliasing and straight lines. I mean, settings are maxed. That's all I can do. So there's always been a little bit of picket fence, but that's just the way the game renders. But the lighting itself, yeah, I'm really liking the, I don't know, call it haze? Particulate? The far distance just seems to be a little bit softer looking, a little bit more layered, right? Like more dimensional. Is that the right word? Now, if we could only get fog lights. Fog lights are like beacons. They're not really critical. They don't really matter. It's just something you want. Where are my beacons at? I don't know if they will ever add fog lights. It'd be nice if they did, though. I've seen a couple trucks that have them added, but they're always, or not trucks, but mods. I've seen a couple mods that add them, but they never work properly. And they're never mapped to another key. I mean, I'm saying this as someone who has coded a little bit in the past, not in Lua, and not in Prism or anything. I don't know what language Prism uses, but I've never coded for ETS or ATS. But you would think that you could just add I mean, there are plenty of lights in the mods. I'm thinking of giants. In the workshop. There are plenty of light mods in the workshop. Overhead lights and grill lights and roof lights and all kinds of lights. Jaden, what is happening? So it would seem like adding fog lights would just be the same thing, but rather than having the light body, whether it's a rally light or a hella light or a... Right? Rather than having the light body itself, and then it mounts onto a light bar, it would just be the light element. It would just be the light that is cast, and it would locate behind the fog light lens in the grill. You would think it would be that easy. And it would have to be specific per truck because the location of that fog light is different for every truck. But if you can make a light that mounts on a roof bar, it would seem like you could make a light that mounts behind the fog light lens. But I don't know. It seems to be something that people struggle with. And I know enough people want them that, you know, modders have to be aware of that, but I don't know. We just don't have fog lights. All right, here we go. Coming up on 6:30. I can't wait for it to be dark again. I'm really looking forward to this. I also want to see what frame rate is like in ATS, because I know on the ATS side, I feel like we've consistently been lower with FPS lately. So we're back at 60 right now. And then we'll see if it repeats as it did yesterday evening. We'll have that little drop when we have the sun setting and we have lights turned on, and then we'll go back up to 60. I don't know if that's going to be the case when we get to ATS as well. Maybe 1.40 in ATS is when they fix the problems we've been having. Because I know I'm not the only person who's been noticing those drops. But as well optimized as this is on the ETS side, I'd like to see it equally well optimized on the ATS side. Yeah, same, Ernie. Colorado is the worst. And a lot of people have left comments about it, so I would hope that the devs are aware. I thought it was the trees, but then in like Washington and Oregon, they both have a lot of trees, and I didn't notice the same drops. Taro, I'm very happy with it. When I was looking at this system, we priced 1660 Ti and a 2070 Super. And I figure I don't need ray tracing at the moment because I play Sims primarily. So I went with the GTX rather than an RTX. And I have absolutely no complaints about it. Next system will be an RTX, and what we want to do is just continue sort of cascading things down. So I think we're going with 2070 or 2080 Super. Hopefully like an i9 10900 with a 2070 or 2080 Super. And that will be the system that runs the, most likely the flight sims. And then this system will be exclusively for race sims and truck sims. And the gaming laptop will be, that will become the new preview laptop, and then the old laptop that I'm using for preview right now, that will be retired. That'll take the dirt nap. But yeah, no complaints about the 1660 Ti. But I do consider myself lucky to be into sim gaming, and these games are typically not as demanding as like AAA titles. I don't think I'd be able to run something like Red Dead 2 at 60 FPS. I was able to run Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint when I had both of those installed. I was able to run them on ultra settings at 60. But my monitor maxes out at 1080p, so I didn't need to mess with 4K settings. I don't imagine I could hold 60 FPS at 4K, but on a lower res monitor, I was able to hold that on, and I consider those to be AAA titles. Single axle? Hell yeah, man! I can't wait to get. I want the triple axle. And I'm really curious if I need to, hopefully I don't need to like redo all my skins, because the cab looks like it'll be the same. I think maybe some of the side panels, like the fuel tank covers, may be a little bit different, but possibly not. And all those skins will just transfer directly over. I hope they do, because I've been I've been skinning a lot. I wanted everything to be done by the end of January. I've got one more left to go. I have one more left to go on each side. I've got the Peterbilt 579 in ATS, and I've got the Volvo 3-axle and the Volvo 4-axle on the ETS side. So 2 more skins to go and I'm done. And that'll be, everything will be rebranded. And I use a different... For my iRacing skins, I use a different paint scheme. It's essentially just bare matte finish carbon fiber. My cars all look like a piece of coal. Very, very dark, and it took forever to get the scaling right. So when you use a carbon fiber texture in iRacing, if you use a weave that's too big, it looks completely fake, right? Because when you're 20 feet from the car, you can actually see the carbon fiber weave, and that's not realistic. But if you use one that's too small, then it just goes gray. The whole car just looks gray with like kind of a moire cast to it. So it's got to be exactly the right density of weave. And they've got, started a couple patches ago, but you can put in normal maps and specular maps, so you can have different gloss and different... intensity of reflection, and if I back that all the way down to 0, the car just looks like a black hole. So I won't need to reskin everything in iRacing. Is that a flute? What is it with the flute? Hang on. I really like Spotify, and I like these epidemic playlists, but the flute seems overrepresented, I have to say. All right. So first we get the sunset. Man, I hope we don't get this delivered before the sun is all the way down. All right, so the sun is setting now. I don't have the lights on, but frame rate is beginning to drop, so I'm wondering if it's not just atmospheric lighting at sunset, right? That it's just, the lighting is just doing more regardless of whether or not you have the lights turned on. You know, I've tried, Ernie, but they're the way that the licensed music works with Epidemic, the playlists are constantly evolving. So right now I'm playing a channel, an Epidemic channel via Spotify, but the content of the channel is always changing, and I think it has to do with like maybe how long an artist agreed to have their music be copyright free or whatever. So today it'll have 100 songs in it, and next week it'll have 80, and then the week after it'll have 120. So I feel like they add and remove songs from the copyright free part of their network, and I don't know if I'd be able to keep up. I mean, what I love about Epidemic is it's simple. It's just plug and play. You click a button and it plays guaranteed copyright free music, and my license is valid. All right. Jesus, I was trying to leave the lights turned on. No, what's the opposite of on? Off. I was trying to leave the lights turned off to see what happened with the FPS, and all right. Well, fortunately, we're loaded. All right, so when I turn the lights on, then we definitely drop down to just above 50 FPS. But we got a lot of nice, I think of them as compound lighting looks going on right now. We got the Jesus beams, we got the mist through the trees as it cools down in the evening. Oh, this looks great. Oh, but that windshield effect when a car passes us, I don't know, man. It's not a deal breaker, but I would really love for there to be a way to turn that off, because I think it is a little bit clunky. Okay, so again, we're getting tired just about sunset. I don't think it's got anything to do with it being sunset. It's just the length of time we've been driving. But I'm going to try to either push through to Duisburg so we can continue driving at night, or if we get too tired, I'll turn fatigue simulation off till we get there. Because I do want to... where are we at on time? Yeah, I'd like to wrap up the stream driving at night just so we can continue to see all those effects with the headlights, the taillights, turn signals, oncoming traffic, reflected lights in signs, beacon lights, all that stuff. I don't know that so the headlights on pavement right now, I don't know that those are intentionally more realistic, but I would say as the sun sets in real life, your headlights do gradually become visible on the pavement. I don't know that you could see them at like high noon. And I do feel like that was in-game. If you turned your headlights on in bright sunlight, you could still see them on pavement. So probably not the most realistic, but I think they'll get all these values dialed as they get feedback from the community. Yeah, really good lighting, Foxy. That's the whole, I think that's the whole, yeah, we'll turn that off. The 1.40 patch is just all about this new lighting. Yeah, you can already see, looking in the mirror, you can already see the... Oh, interesting. Okay, so the lighting is... We're seeing the lighting on the pavement, but we're also seeing it lighting up the trailer itself. Let's take a look at that third person. Maybe a bit over the top, because it's getting like all the way down into the cavities inside the wheels. Oh, okay. And the sun is all the way down, so we're back above 60 FPS. So, yeah, it seems like maybe there's some more sort of complicated lighting effects going on at sunset. And once those go away, then you do get the FPS back. Foxy, it's ETS2. I mean, it still seems to be really well optimized and capable of running at really high settings without absolutely taxing the GPU. All right, let's do this before... Yeah, we just started to doze off there. So let's do this quickly. I timed that really badly because now as soon as we come back from this, we're going to need to just absolutely hammer the brakes. Hopefully we can do this without killing ourselves and everybody else. Here we go. And I guess we're getting into Duisburg. Let's turn some beacons on and see what this looks like. Ooh. Yeah, no complaints. Let me see. Frame rate's dropping off a little bit. Yeah, agreed, Ernie. I think they need to dial some of these values. They're not bad, but I do think they can be better. See what this tunnel looks like up here. We've gone through a couple tunnels, but I don't remember going through one at night, so let's see what this looks like. Yeah, the glow around the lights. I remember the difference in lighting when we went to DX11. And it seems about the same sort of jump forward. And when we went to DX11, the lighting just got so much softer and more realistic. And this has a similar feel to it, that we've kind of moved forward on the lighting. I mean, again, I know that's the whole point of the patch, but you know what I mean. Like right through here, this looks so much better. I did, and then I turned them off again, but I can turn them. Oh, I can turn them back on. Yeah, I think whatever that facility was to the right, that was... Oh, look how soft these lights look. It just looks like, you know, when you're driving at night, when you're driving in the evening, and you're getting that little bit of condensation in the air. It gets a little hazy, a little foggy in the evening. It's got that same sort of glow around everything. Did they overhaul the lighting and textures for those additional lights? Unknown. I don't know if they did anything with textures. I think it may just be the lighting engine itself. But I'm by no means an expert. I just know what I read on the internet. Yeah, the lighting in the tunnel, I don't know, maybe it's because we're so close to them. Like some of the other lights that we're looking at, they're a little bit further away, and so they're softer. But the lights that we're looking at in the tunnel were very, very close to them. And they seemed a little bit, I don't know. And we're getting some, yeah, the lights up in front of us are picket fencing a little bit as they're trying to decide where they want to be. But again, that's a draw distance thing. Not a whole lot can be done about it.
And then turn left.
I like the lighting overall in the tunnel. I thought some of the lights in the ceiling were a little bit... I'd like to see them aliased a little bit better. Or anti-aliased. Oh. Yeah, the reflected headlight windshield effect, I think, needs a bit of a tweak. Or the ability to turn it off. I'm no fan of that. All right, let's go third person again. I mean, I do like that it's turning our blue truck green because the lights are yellow right now. The overhead lights are yellow. I think we're going to get a ticket here. Maybe not. Oh. Frame rate is still decent, but we're getting kind of stuttery right through there. And it could be because we're in a town. I feel like we weren't... Last time we drove at night, we were on the highway. Oh, that helps. Turn the beacons off, instantly pick up about 7 or 8 FPS. Last time we were driving at night, we were out on the highway. Now we're in a city. And cities are always, you know,
Get ready to turn.
dense. More dense.
Turn left.
Yeah, it's been out. This patch has been out for less than a day, so I don't think it would be fair to... I don't know. Let's give it a minute. Let's keep our expectations in check. Either or. I like 2-axle, 3-axle, and 4-axle. I think this truck looks great as a 2-axle and a 4-axle, but I'm not crazy about it as a 3-axle. So I think it just depends on the truck and what we want to be hauling. For the lowboy trailers, I really like the... That's a decent effect in the side window, though. For the new lowboy trailers, I think a 3-axle... Sorry, a 4-axle. I think a 4-axle heavy truck looks great with those. And is very appropriate. Yeah, nice. The way the overhead lights come through and... the way the interior lights up as we pass under these street lights. Yeah. Beautiful. I don't know what that was. Some random flash. All right, so set the brake. Windows down, headlights off, parking lights on, third person. Yeah, no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. And I think it'll get better over the next, however long it takes to get to full retail, a week, 10 days. All right, that time we got some XP and we made some money. All right, so we are just coming up on 2 hours. I think we'll go ahead and call it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's call it, and I'm going to hop in ATS because I want to check it out for myself. And we'll stream ATS tomorrow, even though by then you'll all have already seen it. But we'll stream ATS tomorrow, and then we'll do a little bit of farm on Saturday. We'll go back to Chellington. Very cool. All right, I'm very pleased with this. This is a 1.40 beta. It's available now via Steam if you want to check it out. Definitely start a vanilla profile. I tried it in an older save game that had some mods running, and it didn't like it at all. So definitely create a vanilla profile or back up your old profiles to your desktop or something. Just to, you know, make sure nothing goes wrong. But well worth it. Very cool things they've done with the lighting. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. We'll check out some ATS. Good night.